I know. You want a shoe that looks good, you want a shoe that's stylish, but there's two fundamental rules you need to follow before you even worry about any of this. Does the shoe fit and is it comfortable? You follow these two rules and you'll say goodbye to any numbness and foot pain. How do you know if the shoe's the right size or not? Well, I've got a little pre-purchase set of guidelines you can follow that will really help you when you purchase your next pair of shoes. So the most important thing to check when buying a new shoe, it isn't the length, it's the width, okay? So this width here, you want to make sure this is very similar to the width of your foot. Now, the best way to do this is literally to put the shoe up against your foot and just check that width matches. Ideally, the shoe wants to be a little bit wider than your foot. That's going to guarantee that you're not going to be touching the sides on there, okay, with your little toe or with the, if you've got any bunions, anything like that. Understanding your foot type is actually very important as well. You want to make sure if you've got a wide foot, you're getting a wider shoe or a high volume shoe. If you've got a narrower foot, you're getting a narrower shoe. Narrower shoes, something like Specialized, they tend to be around about a C width. The Shimanos are usually around about the D width. Now you can get extra wide ones as well, which will go into the E. Same with Lake. Lake do a wide fit, extra wide fit. So just make sure you're getting the right shoe for your foot. Now for the second part, to check the volume and the general fit of the shoe, you're going to need to put the shoe on. So put the shoe on and do up the straps. Now, when you've done that, you're going to need to do a little what I call a tap test around the outside. So you're going to just literally tap around the shoe like this, all the way around. And you're going to make sure that you've got a little bit of room. You don't want to be tapping directly on your foot. That's going to mean that your foot has nowhere to expand to, and it's going to be really uncomfortable when you start getting into that, 30, 40K mark, and your foot expands and it's got nowhere to go. That's the thing that leads to numbness and tingling in the feet in the first place. Most people use this as the first step, but this has to be the final step, just to ensure the length of the shoe is correct, okay? Now, you'd really worry about how much you've got stuck at the front here, the gap in front of the toe. But in all honesty, this is dead space. You don't know what's there unless you actually put your finger there to feel it. Saying that, you don't want too much because it can really affect where the cleat goes here. And you don't want to be pushing too much pressure through the front of the foot. It's going to cause your heel to lift and your calf and Achilles to engage a little bit too much. So you want to be able to move the cleat and you want the adjustment. So I want to make sure that your toe is as close to here as you can without touching. Now 5 to 10 mil is normally good. You might have noticed on these Shimanos, they've actually got some extra adjustment slots here, so you can actually move the cleats back a little bit more if we really need to. Final thing you want to check is just how the shoe feels like when you're actually standing up. So just stand up in the shoe, make sure that when it's all weighted, it feels pretty good. It's no pressure really around the outside here and touching. If you've got a bunion or something like this, or your little toe tends to stick out, just make sure you got no pressure on there because that can get really uncomfortable during a ride. Now, synthetic really doesn't stretch the same way leather does. It'll bend in a little bit, but nothing like a pair of leather shoes would. So if you've got a synthetic shoe, just be aware that you're probably not going to get much movement in it, okay? Don't worry too much about walking in the shoe because I hear this all the time, literally. People always say, oh, my heel lifts up. It's always going to happen if you've got a stiff sole shoe because you're putting pressure here as you're walking naturally, it wants to pull down like that. So don't worry so much about that. That's pretty standard with a nice stiff cycling shoe. As always, if you have any questions or queries on this, anything you want to ask me, you can comment down below or you can send me an email to info@aucklandbikefit.co.nz. I really want to produce more of these videos for you guys and share some of my bike fit knowledge. So any likes and subscribes you can send my way, it'd be greatly appreciated.